So I did a Drake video on how he lost the culture quite badly actually. And y'all like that one. Link will be in the description if you haven't seen it already. I'm biased, but it's pretty good. So I felt like it was necessary I talk about the other side of the coin in the situation. That being Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar in his entire career, I always felt like he prioritized the culture, where artists like Drake sort of put it on the back burner. Like for example, let me take you back to several years in the past. A year of each other, Drake would drop Take Care and Kendrick would drop A Good Kid, Mad City. Do I really need to talk about which one of these moved the needle more and prioritized the culture? And which one had a stronger impact? I definitely feel like my kid cousin could answer that question, but I'll explain only since you asked nicely. Drake dropping Take Care, some would say it's one of his best albums of all time. That it helped forge a more emotionally direct form of hip hop, taking rap in a different direction from the widely popular gangster rap era. But in my opinion, Kanye was the true pioneer of that, but Drake definitely carried the torch a little further. So if you were a sad boy in 2011 or you just went through a bad breakup, this was probably in your headphones all the time, which is cool. Who don't have a My Feelings playlist, you know? As humans, we be in our feelings. But seriously, this album was good. It's a good listen, but I don't think it did much long-standing change, at least when speaking about the culture. Especially me looking back at it more than a decade later. And Kendrick Lamar would release A Good Kid, Mad City, only a year after Drake's release. This album was conceptually created, not just a bunch of songs thrown together for the sake of just putting songs together. It's deliberate. It's an active, moving story. The album details Kendrick's coming of age in the heart of Compton, California, and his experiences with gang violence and how it shaped a big portion of his teenage years. This album is about the story of how K-Dot becomes Kendrick Lamar and every gritty detail in between. While addressing the state of hip-hop and the endless struggles of the less fortunate, I can admit maybe you won't hear a ton of these songs in a party or in the club. I don't really care about that. Both albums were special in their own way. I want to give Drake his props as well. But it's crystal clear which was a better body of work. To me, these two albums sort of ironically show how the career of these two young artists at the time would end up going. They were destined to go to battle at some point. Both artists made it clear that in some way, they wanted to be the best. They wanted to be that guy. But we will get to that later. Let me not jump ahead of myself. Also, hold up. Which one out of these two albums do you think won album of the year at the Grammys? If you said Take Care, you'd be right. Like, how didn't A Good Kid, Mad City not win a Grammy? It really makes me more secured in my thinking of never to watch award shows.
Stiff everybody every single time. And I said, after that point in time, I was like, don't ever ask me to come here again. Please do not ask me. My answer is no for 100 million years. Never again will I go to the Grammy. Well.
Anyway, Kendrick is someone who I always felt like was in touch with the culture. Me personally, it never really felt like it was to sell records or maintain relevancy. It's just a part of who he is. Like, I always felt like it wasn't a front. The authenticity of Kendrick is one of the core traits of his personality and how he chooses to pursue music that I think garnered him so many fans all over the world, and the respect of his peers and the respect of hip hop itself. So my title of this video says Kendrick saved the culture. What exactly do I mean by that? Let me explain. Hate him or love him, Drake was probably the most popular rapper of the past 10 years. I mean, let's be real here. Drake is a hit factory, with his name being attached to some of the biggest songs of the decade. With that carries a huge expectation and, more importantly, a burden that I feel like he might have not fully understood all the way. He was the representative of mainstream hip hop in a lot of ways. He was the guy to the masses all over the world. And you see, that's a problem, a big problem. With someone who's not in touch with the culture, I feel like with Drake leading the pack, rap was in a weird place. Drake's run in hip hop, while dominant, I gotta give it to him, I think it valued popularity and numbers more than substance. Actually, I know. Anybody who's been listening to music in the past 10 years know this as a fact. He valued #1 records over making songs that would define a generation. And I'm not mad at him, but this is the truth. What really encompasses what I mean is when Kendrick said this in the line of Euphoria.
Tommy Hilfiger stood out, but FUBU never had been your collection. I make music that electrify 'em. You make music that pacify 'em.
I make music that electrify him. You make music that pacify him. which is such a simple line. Very simple. A 2-year-old could understand it. But a simple line just hits different because, well, it's true. I think Drake had limitations on certain aspects of his creativity, leading him to put out a ton of music that honestly sounded similar to the last track. Or Kendrick, who just kept getting better every year, in my opinion. While Kendrick always prioritized the substance and valued the message in most of his records, Kendrick grew up with his audience, while Drake sort of stayed the same age. That's why he's a toddler now. But seriously, I think that's how you get an almost 40-year-old man handling situations like he's 25. He only act like a Goodfellas mobster for some reason. I don't know who gave him that advice, but it was bad advice.
No, I don't know. You said it. How do I know? You said I'm funny. How the f am I funny? What the f is so funny about me?
The difference between these two ideologies of these two men and how they saw the game only made sense that they would clash at some point. And they finally did. And I say finally because they were throwing subliminals at each other for years, as early as 2012. Some of y'all watching this wasn't even born in 2012. So the storm between these two, Kendrick and Drake, have been brewing for a long time. And it finally rained, ladies and gentlemen, and boy did it pour. Kendrick blew Drake out of the water with one of the most one-sided beefs ever. Straight demolished him in terms of which records were better, and who would have thought Kendrick Lamar won the popular vote. Kendrick had a diss track become song of the summer while everybody is crip walking and crip dancing this record and loving it. While a casual rap fan wouldn't even know what any of Drake's diss songs to Kendrick Lamar were even called during this beef. That's how one-sided it was. I believe Kendrick won for multiple reasons. I forgot what they were, but I can find them. They're in my notes somewhere. Found him, guys. It's because he was the better rapper, had better production, catchier lines, better music videos. But most importantly, the culture was tired of Drake. When it was decided who was going to be that guy officially, who was officially going to represent the culture, Kendrick was the clear victor, describing how he felt about Drake and his diss tracks, but not only how he felt about Drake, how millions around the world did as well. Contrary to popular belief, I do like Drake. I grew up a Drake fan. It's a ton of records that I like of Drake that are in my playlist. I will never say he's complete trash or I don't listen to him because I would be lying. But I feel like a lot of us listen to Drake, especially people my age. We literally grew up with him. It was kind of hard not to. Again, he was Mr. Hitmaker. Just feel like it was his time to be exposed. Sometimes people need to be exposed when dumb stuff has been allowed for so long. He wanted to be a part of something and never really fully accepted him anyway. As this beef made me happy to be a rap fan again. I think this is also a point that a lot of people don't talk about. This beef reignited hip hop, in my opinion. Honestly, I don't remember being this excited about multiple releases from people in a long time in the rap space. And this beef, whether you think Kendrick Lamar won, which actually did happen, or you're delusional and you think Drake won, cool, I don't care really. This beef made culture talk have a discourse, because no matter what, even if we have different opinions, fine with me, I'm cool with that. But I love the discourse, I love the conversation. Tell me you think I'm wrong, I'm gonna tell you why I'm right, And I think this beef really showed, even these guys are massive artists, so it showed really what could happen, and people were, what could happen once these two actually fire off on each other. And as a hip-hop fan, I was salivating at the mouth. I wanted more. Pause. But it really made me happy to be a part of such a small part of this beef, and just watching, analyzing with my two eyes. It felt nice. But this whole ordeal, while it was really great to see, it showed me something that I forgot about. Very important lesson. If your friends, your family won't hold you accountable, the culture will. With all that being said, I appreciate you for making it this far into the video. I go by Rager University, and I'll see y'all whenever I upload next. Peace.